The US President Donald Trump has reiterated his plan to create a military force in space, stressing that this new wing of the American military would have both defensive and offensive capabilities.
The Space Force, space, very important. That's going to be great. Look, so much is happening now in space. I mean, your great defense. I'm not just talking about Mars and the moon. I'm talking about tremendous defense capability, offensive capability. It's in space. So we're going to do the Space Force.
But not everybody is enthusiastic about the proposed military space program. The Pentagon's lukewarm response to the president's plans is just one of a number of signs that there is perhaps a disconnect between Trump and his military at the moment, as Igor Zhdanov explains.
Throughout his short political life, Donald Trump has been taking an unequivocal stand that he is the biggest ally the US military could ever wish for.
We salute their sacrifice and we salute the flag they fought to protect. Our great warfighters. The men and women who paid the ultimate price for victory and for freedom. The men, the women of the United States military, these are our finest.
But just over a year into his presidency, the commander-in-chief has been all but drifting further away from his million-strong core. Right now, the White House and the Pentagon are squabbling over Donald Trump's initiative to create an additional military branch, a Space Force. The Pentagon was unimpressed about this a year ago. The Pentagon is unimpressed now.
When does the Space Force get its first orders?
This, as you know, is going to require legislation and a lot of detailed planning, and we've not yet begun.
In the past 18 months, the Pentagon stuttered through troves of public embarrassment because of their wannabe biggest fan. For instance, this March, Donald Trump casually remarked that US troops would be pulling out of Syria in the nearest future. The bombshell decision the Pentagon was not only unaware of, but also disagreed with, apparently.
We'll be coming out of Syria like very soon. Let the other people take care of it now. Very soon. Very soon we're coming out.
I've heard rumors of people talking about withdrawal, but it's not over.
What did the announcement this week change, if anything?
In that sense, nothing actually has changed.
Fast forward next month. Trump says he wants to deploy the National Guard on the Mexican border. Well, let's just say the Pentagon didn't have too much fun when it had to take the rap for this.
We're going to be guarding our border with the military.
Members who are likely to be involved in this overall expanded operation?
So that will all be determined by the requirements that are given to us.
Not even an estimate?
I don't have any specific details of what support we could provide.
They will provide us with the requirements, and then from that we'll determine how many and what's the mission and how many we'll deploy.
Back in 2017, Trump went to France, where he saw the iconic Bastille Day parade. Wow, that's nice. Why don't we have something like this, he thought. Some reports suggested no one wanted the parade but Trump, well, yet reluctantly worked on it in a hands-off mode. The due date is just over 3 months away now. The event is reportedly in the early planning stages, and it's still unclear who's going to foot the millions of dollars bill. Some orders Trump is giving out, of all places, on Twitter. Last year, he first tweeted that the US would not accept or allow ... 9 long minutes passed before he resumed.
Oh my God. Does anyone else in this room have any intelligence coming out of the White House?
United States government will not accept or allow transgender individuals to serve in any capacity in the U.S. military.
Mary, get me some coffee.
This list of when Trump pushed the Pentagon right under the bus is nowhere near complete. So with the Space Force initiative, the U.S. military is, well, apparently struggling to get its hands back on the steering wheel.
He says he welcomes the advice from the likes of Mattis and Pompeo and Bolton, who are all considered the war cabinet. But he makes the ultimate decisions when it's time for a decision. But when it comes to throwing out ideas, that doesn't necessarily mean he's consulted with anybody. He came up with the idea before consulting with anybody. He made it known publicly, and then once he began to get further briefed on the issue, I think he's beginning to understand that the Space Force per se may not be the way to go, although I don't think he's ruled it out entirely.